right. Welcome to the Wednesday night post-market review. The date is August 21st, and we are looking at what happened throughout the market today. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I did. I was green. I can just start with that, which is good. Made up my losses from yesterday, which is also good. And overall, let's see what my overall for my day trade account was. Overall, not too bad. $2,300. Can't complain. So let's just jump right in and look at some of the things going on. So we'll first pull up the primary markets. We'll pull up TQQQ, which is also known as the NASDAQ in a way, and then also S&P 500 underneath SPY. Use those as a means to see how the market did in the day. So let's change this to the 1 day. Both of them about the same. Yeah, I mean, one thing you'll see is the SPY and the NASDAQ and the TQQQ, they kind of mimic each other because there are some stocks that are similar within each one, but at the same time, sometimes one performs better than the other and vice versa. So these are the two I usually am playing off of for the most part, at least companies that are playing, or that I'm playing. And so, or if I'm day trading, I'm looking at what the market is doing in general to see if maybe the market is strong, if there's some sympathy there towards a play action that I'm looking towards doing. If there's potential market support, if the market is strong and booming, my entry on even maybe a day trade might have a factor. You never know. There might be a perspective there that part of that equation that comes into it. Now, I will say on day trading, a lot of the time I'm looking at more the price action and the play action itself, as well as indicators and where things are. Are things overbought? Are they undersold? Or oversold? I mean, those types of things. So overall, market from the beginning of the day, let's see, for both of them, kind of was consolidate. I mean, you had these big waves, but you had a lot of consolidation. It seems like it just kind of ran a single straight line almost. If you look at open here, I mean, you did come up a little bit. Close was right about here. So you did have an ascending move, if you want to call it that, but by the end of the day, you definitely had a much higher ascending ascension, you could say, if you had pre-market to post-market type action. Where were we at the beginning of the pre-market or post-market yesterday? So let's see if we can zoom this out at all. Let's go 5 days, just these two. So you started here, and you opened lower, and you closed about just a little bit higher than where it was 2 days ago. So, if you stayed in the entire time, you're probably looking at, over the course of 2 days, you had a profit gain of a minor amount. Let's put it that way. But at the same time, you didn't have a loss like I did, and then had to make it up today. So that's just how that works. But overall, I'm excited to know we're green. And moving on through for the rest of the week, you're going to have red days. It's just going to happen. So I want to listen to some Tropical Wave here. Let's see. There we go. Winding down for the night. Just relaxing a little bit. Still hacking up stuff out of my lungs from COVID. But I am recovering. I'm going to take a test in the morning to see if I still have the virus. Or if I'm just in recovery factors now. So make sure I'm not popping positive anymore. And then about 5 days later, I can, maybe next week I can walk into the office, and I'll still have to have a mask on, but I'll be able to at least go to work in the office, which is where I'd like to be. So, all right, let's see what happened today. All right, let's go back to number one. We'll turn this. I like the 5 minute there. I'm going to leave the 5 minute there, but I'm going to turn it to the 5 minute on a single day. All right, so we're looking at. Oh, I guess I better turn on my light here so you can see me a little better. Let's see. Haha, there we go. All right, so what happened today? I got into this one as well, and this is where my moneymaker was. This was GDC. You know, I got in. I rode this first rise a little bit right here, and then it started to slough off, and I got out before. I took a little money, but not a lot of money. But then I saw it kind of building back up again. I saw it building back up again over here, and the 10-second chart was showing me that it was not going past a support line. Just was not. It would hit it and run up more. It would hit it and run up again. But then it just started being consistently ticking up on the 10-second chart, and then gradually spacing out. And what I mean by spacing out is, you like these. Here, I'll zoom in on this one. Let's say we have a line cross over here, like this one and this one. Here's VWAP, and here's the 9 EMA. So as you get this widening here, you know, that's a good indication that you're having a strong run up. You know, you're getting, you know, a little bit wider of a V. And so I entered in right around, let's see, that's the first one. Where's the second one? I entered in right around this candle. I saw this kind of dip here. You know, it was kind of, didn't really charge up, but it didn't charge down on this candle. That was the 5 minute. And if you come over here to the 1 minute, you know, you see these little three, but you have these big three green candles. You have these little threes, so there's not a whole lot of sale pressure going on because you have three little dojis right next to each other practically. And so at that point, I saw this green candle, and then as soon as I saw this one, I got in. And now I did have this pullback here, which made me kind of think about it a little bit, but I held, and I rode up this one, it came back again, and then it just took off. But I rode this one, saw the doji on the next one, and I'm just like, well, the next one's green, or the next one's red as well. I better watch it. But as soon as it closed, it was doji, and I knew that I was going to be okay. And so I caught this, and then I ended up taking my profit gain right about here, and that was it. I was green, I was good, didn't care what happened next. Now, if I would have stayed in, of course, I mean, it had this other rise up that it did, and then it closed out at the end of the day. But you know what? I was green, I was good, I was happy. No problem. NVIDIA, I did the same thing. NVIDIA was another one of my trades. And NVIDIA was a little bit all over the place. But when it came to NVIDIA, they hit the overbought limit a lot on two different times. And in both times, they were overbought. And so I did two short plays, and I pulled out a good amount of money. I played this one, and I played this one here and here. This one, thought it was going to be kind of coming back down on this candle a little bit, so I kind of bought into my short position right about at 128.60. And then I added a few more. I added to my position up here. This scared me a little bit. But as soon as I saw the swooshing back down, I wasn't in a whole lot at that time. It was small entries, small building on position. But I was also looking at this high, impulse being over the RSI, and same with the first one here. You can see it on the 5 minute; it was over the RSI, and so both. On the RSI for the 1 minute and for the 5 minute, the impulse was over the RSI for overbought. And so that was my play. I said, eventually it has to go the other way. It just does. I mean, technically it doesn't. It could keep running, and that could be scary. But on a high probability, when it's overbought, it's going to turn and go the other way. And the matter is just watching the price action. And the price action I was looking at, okay, you had this run up. You had this run up here. You had this swooshing effect. You had a run up here. You had a swooshing effect. You had a run up, or you didn't have much of a run up. You had a gap down a little bit, or not a gap down, but a run down that gave you a new low. that was what's had me interested on this candle, is because this was a new low for me. You know, this candle was a new low from this candle. So usually you like to see, a higher low and a higher high, but in this case we had a red candle high. We had higher highs and higher lows still up until here. You had the I think it's the three red crows or something like that. The three black crows. So this is a pattern that's identifiable. I saw this, and then assuming the backside where it run up, it flushed down a little bit, run up, flush down, and you had these in combination. My assumption was that you had overbought levels, that this was going to turn eventually. This was going to turn fairly soon. That was my play, and it worked out. Hey, Natalie. So, all right. So that's my play. I ended up entering somewhere right around this candle, rebought up in here, and then I rode this candle down. I took some of my profit off the table to get a higher high. I took a little bit off. I took what I had here, so I had what I ended up buying up here still as my long. It popped back up here a little bit, but then it just continued to run, and then I finally took my profit down around, I think I took it right around the 200, thinking it was going to bounce off the 200 EMA. But there you have it. I'm green for the day. I'm happy. I'm good. So that's how the day went for me. So another stock that was a runner today. Let's see. We had GDC. Oh, AMD was all over the place. AMD was crazy. So if we look at AMD on the 1 minute, they were just didn't know which direction they wanted to go. At one point, I was in long for AMD. I wasn't sure if I think I had 40 shares of AMD at one point. 40 shares at $157. That's 4,000. What was that? 4,100, something like that. $4,157. I was long, and ultimately I decided to get out completely because that was just too volatile. It was all over the place for me. I mean, I was up, I was all the way down. I was up, I was down. I was up. I couldn't get a position of a runner going. I mean, I rode this a little bit. For down to VWAP, so I got a little bit of green there. And I thought about holding a little bit, but as soon as it crossed VWAP, I got out. And luckily I did, because you had this big, long, sweeping, just drop that happened. It started to rise back up. I saw the turnover on the MACD here. I got in right about here for a little more green. And then it just kind of continued to just go all over the place. And I mean, we had a little run up, but then we had another drop. So I got a little bit of the run up. I got out, and then I didn't really touch it again. Not until almost the end, because I tried to do this one, got up here, only took a little bit more. I was just like, all right, I'm done. It keeps dropping significantly. I'm seeing this repeating pattern. Up here, I did take a short to take a runner here, and that was probably my biggest win on it, because I saw the repeating pattern of run up, drop down, run up, drop down, run up, drop down. So I took it here, but yeah, at the end of the day, you got this big red candle. So we'll see if where we end up tomorrow morning when the market opens. That's how the day went. Hopefully you had a green day as well. If not, continue to work on your strategies, continue to work on your entries and your exits. Don't stick around longer than you need to. And, it's okay to get out a little early compared to when your target was. Just because you don't hit your target, as long as you're getting out green, you're green. Hey, great. If it ends up going to your target, fine. There was a reason why you got out. But if it doesn't go to your target and you get out, or maybe it starts going the other way before it gets to your target or where you are and it starts going the other way, it's okay to let it go because you want to be green more than red. And even if it, I don't care if it was 3 cents, $3, $30, $300, and you were after something much more than that. You'll get there. Base hits over home runs. That's what the goal is. Base hits over home runs. That's all I got for today. Thanks for sticking around. It was wonderful to have a good trading day, and hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good night.